Hey guys, Sak here from SAKITECH, and in today's video I want to talk about a very special smartphone that is quite impressive in many things it does, but doesn't seem to be getting enough attention. I'm talking about the ZTE Axon 35G, a phone with a true all-screen display with an under-display camera that is barely visible. So let's dive in, and I want to focus on 5 major aspects of this phone: the display, media consumption such as gaming and video, performance, charging speed, and value for your money. So first and foremost, real quick, the price on this thing is $499. The links are going to be down below with full specs. So let's dive in. Alright, so first I want to talk about that gorgeous all-screen display. But before I do that, I do want to let you know the phone has an under-display fingerprint sensor. It's an optical fingerprint sensor. Works like a charm. Now, one thing in relation to the fingerprint sensor, if I go to my settings and if I were to go into my security, which is going to be right here, password and security, fingerprint, what I like over here is the fact that I can go inside and I can change the fingerprint animation style. So I can pick from these different animations as I'm unlocking the phone. So that's a great level of customization that I'm loving. But back to the display. So this is a 6.92 AMOLED display. The resolution is 1080 by 2460. And of course, if I go to my display, right over here, display, you can see the screen refresh rate is up to 120 Hz. So you can choose 60, 120, or you can choose auto. So if you want, you can get a fixed 120, it's up to you. So all that again in a $500 phone. And of course, one of the most visually striking features from the front is the fact that we can barely see the under-display camera here. There's an under-display camera here. It's the front-facing camera, and it's actually 16 megapixels. This is in fact a second generation under-display camera. I'm gonna move this to the side just a little bit, and I'm gonna bring in the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3, which is another phone that has an all-screen display on the inside. Now, if you look at the under-display camera here, it's a first gen. You can actually see it a little bit. It's a little bit pixelated. Still gives you a great effect. But this one over here, the second gen, is way superior when it comes to hiding the actual camera under the display. So here it is visible, and this is a very expensive smartphone. Not a bad phone, but this one here, $500, all-screen display, under-display camera that is barely visible. Now, especially while watching movies, watching YouTube videos in full screen, you get complete and total immersion because of this full screen display. And because the under-display camera is so well hidden, nothing gets in the way of your viewing experience. Now, let me talk about the performance as I keep the focus on the display. So here, we're playing a game. This is a demanding, graphically intense game that is playing without a hitch, with no lag, on this all-screen display. It is extremely fun and immersive to play, and the performance is rock solid. Now, the phone uses a Snapdragon 870 processor, which is just a hair below the Snapdragon 888 when it comes to performance. So basically, the 870 in terms of performance is between the 865 and the 888. So essentially, it's a flagship processor that can handle any task. Look at those Geekbench benchmark scores. They're very similar to what you would find on the latest flagships. The Snapdragon 888 is simply 10 to 12% faster. Nothing dramatic. And of course, the operation on this phone is super smooth. Alright, look at that, 120 Hz. You got that Snapdragon 870 processor. There's no lag, no stutter anywhere. And if I go all the way down, go into my About phone, right here, you even get a little breakdown of what's in the actual phone. The processor, the memory, and of course the RAM. Now this one is the 8GB version, but there's also a 12GB available with 256 gigabytes of storage. So if I go back here, the next thing I want to take a look at is the battery, specifically the crazy 65-watt charging speeds on this phone. The capacity of the battery is 4,200 milliamp hours. It will give you a full day of use if you use it without going crazy. Just a healthy mix of medium duty use. If you go too heavy, it might die before that, such as simply playing games and watching movies all day. Alright, with the charging, I'm going to give you guys a quick version. You can charge this phone from 0 to 76% in 30 minutes and from 0 to 100 in 45 minutes. And as you're charging the phone, you get to see this cool animation that is actually showing you how fast the phone is charging. Look at those numbers move. So if you're looking for a quick charging phone, this is one of those. Now the front-facing camera on this phone is able to produce some relatively nice selfies. Now under-display cameras cannot be as good as non-hidden cameras for now, but this one just happens to do a great job. It's actually better than the Galaxy Z Fold 3's under-display camera, and this one is 16 megapixels. So on the rear we have 4 cameras. The primary camera is a 64 megapixel Sony sensor. That's the one you're going to be using a lot, and it is actually impressive for the price. So first and foremost, when it comes to video, we have all the standard modes, the movie mode, standard mode, time-lapse, slow motion, and also more importantly, if I go to my settings over here, I do have 4K at 60 or 30 frames per second. So that's good for this price range, very good. And of course, we can also do 1080p at 30 or 60. As you can see right there. Here are some sample photos taken with the 64 megapixel camera. We have the ultra wide, the standard lens, and all these photos are satisfactory. I will let you know they may not be at the level of a flagship that costs over $1,000, but for $500, these photos are very good, in addition to all the other benefits you get with this phone, like the all-screen display. And here you saw some video footage, and I'll let you know right away, again, it's way more than what you need for a $500 phone. Alright, so that's basically what I wanted to cover in this video. This phone has a large display, it's an all-screen display, it's an AMOLED display, it's super smooth and it's vivid. When it comes to video consumption, I think this is one of the best experiences out there on a phone because there's no notches and no hole cutouts. It also has the performance to handle games and give you that immersive experience. And of course there's going to be some compromises, but that's why it is $500. Possibly the best budget smartphone right now that has a close to a flagship experience. If you want to learn about all the specs of this device, you can click the links down below. And I do want to let you know that they have some amazing Black Friday deals right now. So you will get $50 off for the ZTE Axon 30 that you saw in this video. But if you want a phone that's even more flagship, they also have a ZTE Axon 30 Ultra, which is actually $200 off for this Black Friday deal. And then they also have a flash sale between November 22nd and the 29th, where they actually have 50% off on the ZTE Axon 30 Ultra. The links and details are going to be down below.